Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This is our usual Wednesday webinar, workshop, whatever we're calling it these days. We're doing something a little different today because we have done a lot of topics and some of them multiple times. And we felt maybe the formula was getting just a tad stale, so we thought we'd shake things up a little bit. Plus, it's almost Halloween. We're in a festive mood. I don't know about you guys, my favorite holiday. Christmas is cool and all, but I wish they would stop selling Christmas stuff before Halloween was even over. So today is our impromptu, unscripted, Ask Me Anything session. So feel free to ask us anything within reason, of course. So before we get started, I'm going to go through our usual agenda. This time we're going to cut out the live demo unless somebody, wants a quick demonstration of something within Variphy, and then one of our guys here will jump on and show you that. But otherwise, we'll just be bypassing the usual, demo panel discussion and just jumping right to the Q&A where we'll take all your burning questions, and then we'll still do the prize afterwards because we know you guys like to get those prizes. Got to give you some sugar to show up here. First, let me just verify what we do. If you're new to what we do, Variphy is the preferred analytics and management solution for Cisco collaboration. And now it's probably obvious that I'm reading this all because I'm looking away. Deployable either on-prem or as a hosted cloud solution. We provide industry-leading CDR reporting and call analytics, as well as customizable dashboards and widgets, UCCX reporting, remote phone control, change management, and we now offer, I have now spelled as Mao, I feel like the guy in Super Troopers, and we Meow offers Cisco Cube CDR reports and dashboards. If you have any other questions on any of our features, or if you have any interest in evaluating our Cube offering, please contact us at support@variphy.com or reach out to your account manager. All right, and then one more that we have here are enhanced consulting services. This is basically where you get a hands-on, one-on-one with a service technician who's going to do all the heavy lifting in Variphy for you. If you don't want to design a bunch of reports and schedule a bunch of reports and have to manage a bunch of stuff, we can help you out for a additional fee, of course. And it will just take all the burden of managing Variphy and managing your reporting off of your shoulders and put it onto ours. And then hopefully things will just be a lot easier for you to use Variphy in that scenario. So if you're interested, just let us know. We'll have your account manager reach out to you. Jedi CDI Master. I just saw that. That's new. All right, so let's move on to the Q&A today. Please ask questions specifically in the Q&A pane and address them to all panelists in the drop-down field. Otherwise, we may not see them. We've got a lot of panels to monitor here, so yeah, try to keep it in the Q&A panel as much as possible. Choose questions that can be answered relatively quickly. No 20-minute reporting deep dives, please. And questions do not have to be technical, so have fun with it. Be as creative if you want. Ask us, about our favorite Halloween movies or favorite cocktails, whatever. So let's sit down by the fire here and get started. I think we did have a couple of questions that came in already. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the right panel with them. So many panels. Okay, let's see. Yeah, first two questions. These came from our friends over at LinkedIn. One, how do you determine which enhancements are new features? I think that's largely driven by you, the customers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, absolutely, Brian. We meet weekly to kind of talk about new features, add-ons, things coming up, things that we can put on the plate. You're 100% spot on. It's really driven by what our customers are asking us for. Also, what we hear in the marketplace, what we hear from our partners as far as where the environment in the world is going. Perfect example being our Zoom development that we're currently in right now. That came about because a lot of folks are moving to Zoom. A lot of folks are looking at cloud-based platforms, not just Zoom, WebEx, as well as MS Teams. So yeah, that's really driven by our customers, what we hear from the market, what we hear from our partners, and then again, yeah, we meet weekly to kind of go over what can go into the plate, what can't go into the plate, what has to come off the plate, unfortunately. But we do meet regularly, and yeah, that all those improvements are really driven by you guys, our partners and our customers.
Yeah, we've been a Cisco pretty much exclusive shop for a pretty long time, but I think we always knew we were going to have to expand into other areas, and so yeah, we've been kind of knowing that we were going to be going towards Zoom and Teams and all this stuff for a while, and now it's finally starting to happen, which is good. So yeah, but basically, yeah, it mostly comes from, like Vic said, from the market and what the partners say, but also directly from you. If you ever have a feature request, like, hey, there's something I'd like to be able to do in Verify, I can't do it. Is this possible? And if it is, can we, maybe get that integrated into a new build down the road? Then just go ahead and send us a ticket at support@verify.com and say, I have some ideas, and if they're doable, we'll go ahead and kick it up to the developers, get it in the queue. We can never promise a delivery date on anything. It's kind of all up to them to decide what gets tackled in what order, but we'll certainly do our best to accommodate as many features requests as we can. All right. Also, another question from them that came up is, do the aliens have names? And if for a second that threw me, I was like, wait, which aliens? And I remember we have all these aliens in our logo.
We do, yeah, we do. And yes, to answer the question, the aliens do have names. And you know what, Brian, if you want to pass me the ball, let me go ahead and share out an image of what those names are. There's one missing on here, so I'll make sure to mention him.
All right, I'm passing it over to you.
So let me go ahead and share out my screen here, and everybody meet the aliens. So what we're seeing here are as Verify has grown, so has our clan of aliens here. So we're going to start off with the left. Is Cedric is our CDR reporting and analytics. You guys may have seen him when you first kind of pop into a wallboard or a dashboard, and there is no wallboard or dashboard built yet. Next over is going to be Wally. Wally is our UCCX administrator. He is our wallboards guy. And then following up Wally is going to be Tony. Tony is responsible for remote phone control. Next is Alan. Alan, our little pink guy over there, is in charge of as-built and change management. And then Dina is our newest addition, along with DN and DID management. DID management being a little bit newer. The one alien that we are missing here is QB. So one of the things you may have noticed a pattern here is as we roll out new products, we have a tendency to roll out new characters that are in charge of those products. So QB is the one that is missing off of this slide, but he is one of our newest aliens. You could see him out on Planet and throughout our website as well. He's a cube, go figure. And then, obviously more to come as we go and as we, add new platforms and new product offerings.
One thing I hadn't thought of, does the cat have a name, though?
It's a good question. I don't know if the cat has a name.
I think we should have a contest to determine that. All right, so let me take control back here if I can find it. All right. No, that's not it. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay, so I'll just go back to our fireside screen here. Okay, so now that we're back there, so the next question is, my interest is in moving from Linux to Windows so I can easily move from the built-in SQL to a manageable database added to the enterprise server. Let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot. I added $5K last year for consulting and never used it. Can I go towards moving my SQL server? I would say definitely, yeah. If you haven't used that, I mean, as far as I know, like any time and materials customers purchase, if they don't use it, it rolls over indefinitely, right? So we can use that for other projects. That's my understanding, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, Brian. Yeah, we'll absolutely help you. Mike, do you want to talk a little bit about kind of that conversion, how something like that gets done? And I'm going to punt over to you because I know I've seen you do a little webinar on this. So if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Think it was, yeah, Matt may have just done one too, kind of migrating. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, going from Windows or Linux to Windows is pretty straightforward as far as moving the software. There's nothing much to it. Just upgrade the software to the latest version, install the latest version, move a couple files over, and I think we're pretty much all set and up and running. The database side of things, you're going to run into problems with moving the data from MySQL to Microsoft SQL Server. So it might be able to be done. But the easiest way is if you're storing those CDR files would be just to copy them from the old server to the new server and kind of like processes it as if it was brand new data. And if not, then we can maybe play around with the database. I'm sure it can be done. I don't think anyone here has successfully done it.
Yeah.
I think it's more a time of taking the time to actually figure out how to do it correctly and have a functioning database. Long term is usually just easier to migrate the data and then process the CDR as if it was brand new.
Yeah, I know it's been done in the past. I worked with a customer a while back that had a pretty large database, about 120 gig database, and they did successfully do it, but they had to basically bring in like a SQL consultant who was pretty good, honestly, and he figured out a way to do it. And then he gave us his steps, and we tried to recreate it, and we couldn't get it to work. So, and I don't know how much of that plays into just differences in the environment between what he was using and what we were using in our lab. But yeah, it's not that it's not possible. It's just it's not very feasible. Usually when we've tried it in the past, we run into issues, and it just isn't really feasible to support that, which is why we don't.
Yeah, and this really comes down to the migration path from MySQL to MSSQL, which is the problem. There really, despite what you kind of see or try, there's really no direct migration path to go between the two platforms that we'll say works easy. There are some things that could be done, but we're always willing to work with everybody. If you guys are storing CDR or something like that, that's absolutely something that we could bring back into the database. If you're not, give us a holler. We're more than happy to work with you and see what we can do to get you guys migrated over to Windows in an MSSQL environment.
All right, excellent. Next question. Is it on the roadmap to bring Hunt Group status to the dashboard?
I will go ahead and field that one.
Thank you,
That is
because I have no
something
idea.
that is something that we've been eyeballing for a while. We know it is in popular demand. We have a lot of people that ask for different things, so it's really kind of figuring out what we can make effectively and put onto the dashboard. I do not have a target yet, but I will say that we are aggressively looking into it. So I don't have a target frame, but if you were to ask me off the record, and I know we're recording this, I think it's something that we are looking at adding. So.
Yeah, are there some things we can track? I mean, there are some things we can
Yeah,
track.
I think a vast majority of what we hear, it goes everywhere from like, hey, I want to know everything. Who's logged in right now? Who's logged in? Who's talking? Who's not talking? Trying to get those exact contact center metrics out of a hunt group, and that makes it a little bit more difficult. What we're really looking at now is getting something out there where hey, these are my hunt group agents. This is when they logged in. This is when they logged out. This is who's logged in right now, logged out, and starting off simply before we can go down the road of getting much more detailed information. And what we hear from most of our customers, that's kind of what they're looking for. They're looking for that. Hey, I just want to see my hunt group. How many people are logged in? How many people are logged out? Maybe the last time they logged in or logged out or something like that. And that's really what we're working towards right now.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so it's almost like kind of applying more of a UCCX view to the CDR reporting in a way, because it doesn't really show those kinds of statuses typically. So yeah, if we could pull that data, that'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I'm not going to promise the world. There's no way we can go down a
Right.
UCCX path with a hunt group. The data's just not there. But we are
Right.
looking at it. It is something that we're actively digging into now to see what we can or cannot do effectively. But also kind of keep the information what people want to see. Kind of. I'm not going to use the word real time because that means different things to different people, but as close to real time as we possibly can to get that information. Hunt group is not real time. There's no API that's going to say Victor logged in or logged off of the hunt group. So those have to come from querying the call manager to pull that information back, and that's kind of the road that we're heading down. And from a development perspective, but also from just starting to look into the initial building of that.
All right, sounds good.
If I could add, before we
Sure.
move on, as far as we talked about getting new features added and stuff like that. We do track, like you said earlier, we do track everyone who requests it. So just looking at the number of requests and how many people want it in our internal voting system. If this is something that you are interested in and you haven't mentioned it before, definitely bring it up. Shoot us an email. Mention it if you're working with one of us. We always keep track of who mentions it and who brings it up and who's looking for it. And so, the more votes or the more feedback that we get for a certain feature, it definitely makes it, it puts it higher up as far as development goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely like the number of people requesting it plays into the demand for sure. Okay, excellent. That sounds good. Next question. What other platforms does Verify plan to support besides Cisco? I know Zoom, because that's going to be a big part of our upcoming Verify Beyond event.
Yep.
So anything else?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Zoom is getting ready to roll out. So we hope to be in beta for Zoom in December. So if you guys have Zoom Phone, are planning on migrating to Zoom Phone, want to take a look at some of the analytics or be part of a beta program, please reach out to us, reach out to your account manager. We'd happy to get you as part of that beta program. So we do expect that to be rolling into beta in December. Right shortly after that, we are currently in development for WebEx calling as well. So we will be starting to get that out next. We expect that out in early to mid 2023. So we're hoping end of Q1-ish area for beta for WebEx calling, and then we're going to follow that up. Right now, the idea is to follow that up with MS Teams. So start digging into more of the cloud-based platforms. So more to come. Definitely, if you want some more information about what we're doing and you want to see some of what we have to offer for Zoom, which is coming out, make sure you sign up for Verify Beyond. That is our annual event. You can sign up right on verify.com, and then we'll be digging a little bit more into what's upcoming, but also really the Zoom stuff and what we're putting out for that.
Excellent. All right. Next question, not for our first, second non-technical question. What is your favorite Fast and Furious car if you have one? I, of course, will always go with Vin Diesel's ride because what was that line from one of those movies? Muscle always beats import, man. Where the guy was saying, the import cars can never stack up against the American muscle cars.
I think they say that in every one of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, something like that, I'm sure. I haven't even seen the last two of them, but yeah, I always like Vin's car was pretty dope.
Oh, if I had to go, I would say the Super from the first one, the Skyline. They do a lot of Skylines in the movie. Those would be mine too.
Yeah, so you're a car guy, so you can actually name the cars. I just know.
I
was going to say, look,
that's all I know.
The green one.
I'm not a car guy, and I'm not a Vin Diesel guy, so I think I got like 20 minutes into the first one, and I was like, yeah, this is.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, I remember one thing that cracked me up one time. It was the end of one of them. I don't want to give too much away, but there's a big like fight action scene on this cargo plane as it's taking off. And this scene goes on for like 20, 25 minutes. I'm like, how long is this runway going on? Because they're still on the plane as it's taxiing down the runway for like 20 minutes, and all these fights are going on in the plane. And it's like, is this plane ever going to take off? I guess not. Yeah, just funny. Don't look too hard at the details when watching those movies, folks. Let's see. Next question. Can your remote phone control feature access and set the admin settings on an 8800 series phone? Yes, we can. Through the macro feature, we can basically create a script that just sends button presses to the phone, and it can go ahead and change all that stuff. You can change TFTP settings. You could delete an ITL if you needed to, change background images, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, a lot of that can be done through phone control as well. But
not phone control. Yeah, not phone control specifically. You can't run a macro against the phone individually from phone control, though. You can't do that.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So you can do that through remote phone control. But yeah, Brian, and that's a good point. Is also through the macros. So when you're trying to do multiple phones, part of your organization, you can run a macro to change all of those versions at once on multiple phones, and that'll really kind of come through the macros rather than just through the remote phone control.
Okay, and follow-up question on that, can I configure to happen on multiple phones simultaneously or serially? Again, yes, you can. You can also schedule it to run after hours. I think you can schedule it to run in groups of 1 to 100, or do we scale that back to 10? I think we scale it back
to 10. Go up to 100. I think you can
go up to 100?
Yeah, you can go up to 100.
So yeah, you could do basically, it'll do, however many phones you have, it'll do, whatever you set it to. If you set it to 100 at a time, it's going to blast it out to 100 phones at a time in sequence. But you can do all that, kind of automate that whole process. All right, let's see. Next question. What version of Verify supports CUCM 14? I believe that is anything above 12.2.4, which we're currently on 13. So if you're still on 12.2.4, we should probably get you upgraded. Support at verify.com.
Speaking of upgrades, that's actually a really good point. We did release 13.01 today. So if you are running the 13.0 GA version, we do have a 13.1 out there, and you could always take a look at our products page to see kind of the new stuff that's in there. Just a couple kind of minor bug fixes we noticed with 13.0 GA. Nothing super major, but that did get released today. So if you guys are interested in upgrading, that is out today. Actually, just came out about an hour or so ago.
Yeah, I just saw that actually.
Good timing, awesome.
Brian. Yeah, right? They cranked that out quick too. That was pretty impressive. We just released GA like a week or two ago. Okay, so next question is, what are the benefits of your new database archiving? We see there is cost for this new functionality, but how does the system or environment benefit? So for the cost, so there's two types. There's just manual database archiving, which I believe is included, right? There's no extra cost for that. And then there's the automated database archiving, where you can schedule to break up your database into 3-month chunks or however long you want to do the increments for. And that does require an additional purchase for that functionality. As far as how it benefits the system or the environment, it's basically designed to reduce the amount of resources it takes to keep your active data. The idea is, instead of having everything in a huge 100 gig database, you split it off into 20 gig chunks, and then you just keep the most recent, 20 gig chunk in production for, the last 3 months or whatever that scale. It's going to be different for everybody because, the size of the database all depends on the call volume, how many records are being processed. So that's going to scale differently for everybody. But that's basically the idea. Actually, Mike would probably know a little more about this. He's our database guru.
I wouldn't go that far, but it adds some flexibility to the database kind of structure and how everything's set up. So instead of looking for a needle in a 100 gig haystack, you're looking for a needle or two in a 20 gig haystack. The data's still there, and if you want to move, if you want to have, you can move your databases to multiple servers with that, and that's more with the multi-database support. So it just kind of gives you more flexibility. It's been kind of as we're seeing, just larger systems and different needs. It's really helpful for the users and deployments where you're running. Most of your reports are only a month long, but you want to keep data for 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, and you just need that extra. You don't need a database with 4 years worth of data for day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, and actually, it's a good question, because kind of going back to one of the first questions we had about migrating from Windows and MS SQL and SQL. One of the benefits of 13.0, and whether it's auto database archiving or, like Brian had mentioned, the multi-database support, is if you're currently on, let's say, the MySQL database, and we talked about that migration path being very difficult to get over to MS SQL, one of the benefits here is we can actually keep that MySQL database there running, but then create a new database on an MS SQL and start putting your new data there. So your MySQL data will continue to just age off until you no longer need it. Meanwhile, all your new data is going to your MS SQL environment. So there's really no migration of data. You're just going to keep one server sitting there. It's a repository that's seamless for Verify. So when you're running a report, you're not trying to decide, where do I have to go to find this data? Verify automatically knows what data is in which database. But when we're talking about that kind of migration, that is always an option, is just leave the data in the MySQL database, let it age itself off, but you still have it there for reporting. Meanwhile, all your new data is going into an MS SQL environment. So that's actually another really good use case of that.
Yeah, that's actually an excellent use case. I've done that before, even with just old SQL databases that were difficult to migrate to MySQL 8. And we just did a new install and kind of split them off that way. I mean, what's nice about the multi-database is now you can just have it all under one cluster, where before we could still do an archive split, but we'd have to basically create another cluster and Verify, point it to the same call manager, call it archive or something, and then basically have 2 or more clusters in Verify, which now it just clutters up the real estate less, which is nice and just makes it easier. Like you said, more seamless. Okay. Next question. How can I sign up for Zoom beta? We usually have something on our website. I don't know if that's not quite up there yet, is it?
Yeah, no, you can go ahead and reach out to your account manager. You can reach out to support. We're more than happy to get you kind of on the list for beta for Zoom. So just, if you want support at verify.com, we're more than happy to go ahead and get you on the list. Or like I said, just reach out to your account manager and we'll make sure that we get you on the list. As we get closer to beta, we'll make that a little bit more available, I guess you could say. We just want to make sure that, the folks that are getting involved with the beta have Zoom. We've had folks come to us and say, hey, we want to be part of the beta. And we're like, well, this is what it is. And then they're like, oh, well, we don't have that. And we're just like, okay. Feel free, reach out, and then we're more than happy to get you on that list.
Okay, awesome. But we haven't started that. You said it was going to be December. We're going to start the beta.
Yeah, we're expecting to start beta around December. Exactly.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. So just let us know. We'll get your name on a spreadsheet for now, and then at some point, I believe once the beta is in full swing, we'll probably have something on the website too, where you can sign up through the website. We usually have a link or something posted, to do that there as well. Next question, and I will admit this one is mine. What is your favorite holiday and why is it Halloween? It doesn't have to be Halloween. That's just mine. No,
I'll answer. You know what? I like Halloween, but we don't have a lot of trick-or-treaters in our neighborhood. Ever since they started putting rules on how late you can go trick-or-treating. But we don't have a lot of kids in our neighborhood. I always like my wife and I make it a habit to put together the Christmas tree the day after Thanksgiving. So we always have like a Christmas tree in our living room from like Thanksgiving day after to like Christmas, usually like New Year's. So that whole period of time between Thanksgiving and Christmas is kind of I always just like the feeling of the tree in the house and just kind of just like the meals and the family stuff.
Yeah.
Is that a live tree, Mike, or are we doing the fake one?
Oh, I'm not dealing with cleaning up pine needles. I can't do that. No, not a nice fake one with the LED lights put up. We'll do the ornaments. Although this year with the puppy, I think the tree is gonna we're gonna have
Puppies love ornaments.
I'm gonna start investing in baby gates. We put another like five or six more baby gates and just gate the whole house into like one giant just little like traffic route for the dog to walk, but try to keep the tree safe and then and the ornaments safe too, or just keep them like 3 feet off the ground.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I used to be a live tree guy, and I could deal with the pine needles and I could deal with the sap, but what really killed it for me one year is we bought one that was infested with spiders. Didn't
Oh,
see it until we got it home, and then
no.
because when it's cold, the spiders are all hiding. But when we brought it home to our house, all of a sudden we start seeing little spider. Like, did you put some spider ornaments on the tree? What's going on here? So yeah, ever since that, then it's been a fake tree. I do love Christmas. Same reason you said. Tree's awesome. I love all the lights. Definitely love the family meals. Got to have that honey baked ham. But Halloween has always been my favorite. I love horror movies. I love being scared. I love spooky visuals and sounds and environments. And, I play a lot of horror video games as well. So that's just right up my alley for some reason. I don't know why I'm like that. Part of it may be because my dad was born on Halloween. So we'd always also do a Halloween
No
themed
kidding.
birthday party
Interesting.
for him. Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Halloween's always been big in our family. So I definitely look forward to it. I just wish I wish all the Christmas commercialism would stop tap dancing on Halloween's open casket before the holidays even over. It's like, if you don't buy your Halloween stuff by the end of September, you're screwed because it's going to be gone by, early October. And then the Christmas stuff is coming out. So, all right. So we've hit the time here. I think we'll do this as our last question. Favorite Verify feature? Each of us needs to give an answer. I could probably tell you a couple of least favorites from the support standpoint, but I won't go there. Let's just say, okay, I will name it. Let's just say cube and phone control can be a little challenging at times. Those are things you can either fix in like 5 minutes or 2 hours later. You're still scratching your head. But as far as favorite feature, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I work with it the most, but I do like the call analytics reporting. I'm still not as familiar with CCX as I would like to be, but I feel like I got call analytics pretty cold, and I just like all the flexibility you can do with building a report and call analytics. I mean, I can see why some of our users first time get into this, like, whoa, what are all these tabs and toggles? But it's like once you learn what those can do, it's really nice to be able to filter in or out whatever you want to put in the reports. And that's what a lot of customers like about our reporting is that it's so customizable and you can get so granular with certain things. So that's probably my favorite. Let's see. I don't know. What about you guys?
Mike?
For me I mean, I've worked with Cisco CDR since 2006, so like what, 5 years now? Maybe that's 6 years ago only. But it's like, coming from working with the data, coming here and seeing the flexibility with the search sets, I think that was what really kind of blew my mind is how customizable they are, flexible. Just how you can have multiple search sets do everything, instead of having the canned kind of categories and stuff like that under call analytics. And I always have a lot of fun with just like the DN stuff too.
Yeah, I'd have to say for me, again, Mike, I think we're a lot on the same page. We've been doing analytics for a very long time. So yeah, the call analytics, and I think probably the granularity of the call analytics is what I'm most interested in, and specifically more like the cradle to grave searchability, and the ability to kind of pull things out of that, taking one thing and then making 5 different metrics out of it based off of what it did, probably is where I would go. All right.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, apparently I messed up here. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all the time we have for questions. Let's see. We were gonna show the winner. I forgot to type your name, but congratulations, Chet Gregory. You are the winner. I know it doesn't say there, it's not in writing yet, but you are the winner. So your account manager will be reaching out to you with your $50 Amazon gift card, which, as I like to call it, that's either 2 new movie rentals or 10 old ones. All right, so let's a couple other things before we wrap up here. And again, thanks for everybody for attending. This was fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, we'll probably do more of these down the road. If you didn't, we'll never do it again. So let us know. you can let us know in Planet Verify what you thought of it, actually. So this is our social media platform that we launched about, how long has this been up? About 6 months? Longer?
Yeah, you're not sharing your screen, Brian, if you
Oh, I'm
if you are
not?
intending
Oh, crap. Okay,
Nope.
hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, now it's hiding my, oh, jeez. Hold on. Good old WebEx. Where is my... Hold on. It's hiding the stupid panel from me again. Okay, here we go. And share. And
There you
see.
go.
Okay, we back?
Yep.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, come to Verify Planet, or Planet Verify, I should say. So, again, it's kind of like the theme of this AMA session. It can be technical, it can be non-technical. You can come on and talk about drink recipes, what your favorite movie is, whatever. You can ask questions, if you just have questions or ideas you want to put out there, but you don't really think it's something you need to open a ticket for, just more of a, hey, what do you think of this? Or how do you do this kind of thing? Feel free to post as well. We've actually had I think we've had a lot of users kind of bring up some interesting ideas for, how they use Verify to monitor their systems that maybe we hadn't even fully thought of, which is cool. So definitely recommend you check that out when you get a chance. Here's where you can reach us. You can get us through the main website, or just go to planet.verify.com. And I think you just get in with your regular Verify website login, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're registered to access the main Verify page, then you're good to go with Planet as well. And then we will not be doing our usual webinar workshop next week, because we're doing our Verify Beyond digital event. That's going to be next week at the same time, same day. I believe, is it 2 or 3 hours? How long is this one?
Just an hour. Nope, just an hour.
Oh, just an hour. Okay.
Yeah. We're trimming down to an hour.
Okay, yeah. So we're not doing like the full block party mode kind of thing. Just a quick one. Okay, so this will be introducing our Zoom foam analytics. Foam? Did I say foam? Phone analytics. Sorry. We'll be talking about that, our WebEx calling roadmap, some live product demos, more Q&A, and 4,000 in prizes. Wow, you don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss that. Can we win the prizes? Probably not. Anyway, go to verify.com/beyond to register. And then we will return in 2 weeks. The topic of our next session will be tracking call transfers. These include, transfer to, from, blind, consolidative, Manhattan, I don't know, whatever kind of transfers there are. We will be discussing them. And that's going to be hosted by John, who's one of our new SEs here at Verify, and Mike, who you see down there in the video. He's going to be presenting the panel on this one. So please tune in for that. And thanks again, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this. Let us know. And hopefully you'll enjoy the Verify Beyond events as well. And we'll see you back here in 2 weeks. And happy Halloween, everybody.
Thanks all.
Bye, everyone.